Good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of Design 365 Action Scripting, Animation Scripting. Okay, so tonight I'm going to play a little more with some of the actions, some of the animation scripting. But first, let's get some house cleaning out of the way. Announcements. Remember that we're using Adobe Animate 2017 for this class. If you're not updated, please review the announcement about upgrading. Week grades have been posted. Please review the feedback. Wow, my spelling's atrocious tonight. There we go. Please review the feedback. Make any suggested changes, resubmit. This will give you both practice as well as a chance for a higher grade. New policy of mine starting this week when I look at the discussions. If I see that I'm going to stick with the random checks. But if I see that there's a blatant over 20% that it looks like, I'm going to call you out on it and send it to you. Not to be harsh, it's just we have to work on not copying other people's work. As designers, that's a really bad thing. It can get you in trouble. It can get the company you're working for in trouble. Good example is Weird Al's been sued a couple times. Well, actually once that I know of. And it was because he said he got the permission to use the song, but the guy who wrote the original song said no, he didn't do that. So this is where you get your stuff in writing as well. So anyway, if it's obvious that it looks like it's over 20%, I'm going to check it on the spot. Remember, this is a 300 level class. Initial discussion posts need to have at least 250 words long. Need to be at least 250 words long. Have at least 2 APA formatted references. And your initial post is due by Wednesday, unless otherwise discussed with me. And a reply to your peers or me does not count as an initial post. Your initial post has to be the one that's at least 250 words long with 2 APA formats. So if it's not in by Wednesday, it's late. So make sure to, unless you talk to me. If you've talked to me, that's fine. But if you haven't talked to me, then it's late. We're starting that moving forward. All right. Again, please review my feedback in the rubric for each grade. It's information that will help you out. By re-accomplishing it, it gives you more practice. And by resubmitting it, your grade goes up. Read the information in the remarks section as well. Make sure that your posts are less than 20% copied. Yes, I'm repeating it. This is stressing it. Make sure that you have at least 2 references, and make sure that your references are in APA format. All right, that clears up that. Now we're going to move forward. All right, we will start where we left off last week in Adobe Illustrator. We started with our storyboards last week. All right, now to move forward from my storyboards, all right, so we're going to pull this up. All right, so here's my storyboards from last week. Now, I want to start moving this stuff over. Okay, me being old school, I'm going to take everything that's here. We're going to cheat, all right? First, I'm going to go File, New. And I'm going to make this letter size. And I'm going to go Command V. Whoops, that's the class. Let's try to copy that again. So Command C, Command V. All right, now we have it. So the things that I'm going to need to move over. I'm not going to need this. Not going to need this because that's the actual border. Okay, so the person, I'm gonna grab the guy. Come on. There we go. And you know what? It still does not want to untie like last week. So what I'm going to do, there we go. There we go. Now we can move this over. All right, so that's out. Take that out. You know what? I'm going to just cheat here. And you know, easiest way to do this now. Let's go ahead, bring this down so it fits with inside the zoom border stuff. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here at my layers window. Let's look at the layers. There's my layers. Window. No layers. Okay, there we have it. You know, we're just going to cheat here. Okay. So there's that one. I'm going to delete it. There we go. You know what? I'm just going to delete that. Delete. There we go. All right. Come on. Now we're going to separate this. There we go. Now it's back to where it's supposed to be. Take this. You know what? I have those locked, and that's probably the issue. There we go. Those are gone. All right, so now I have my person, the box. We're going to ungroup all these. No, they're already grouped, so let's see. V, all right, there, now that box is by itself. Person's by himself. Let's do the logo. Command V. Okay. And we're going to take this one and we're going to make it larger as well. We're going to put that right back here where it belongs. All right, so there we have it all. All right, and then this. I'm going to move up to here. Move him to there and make him larger. There we go. Hi, Dallas. Welcome to class. I actually heard sound there. No problem. I actually heard sound. Oh, gotcha. I was going to say, yay, it's working. But okay, so we're building our stuff for week 2. Ah, you're on your Mac tonight. Got ya. All right, so we're building our stuff for week 2. So we're basically making our graphics the size we need them. All right. And this one, let's take a look. See what parts it's got. Okay, that's the border. The text. Okay, we're going to lock everything else. That way, I can just select this. Oops, I can't lock the main one. That way, that'll leave those unlocked. All right, so that's just this. For some reason, there we go. Whoops. All down here keeps coming out. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy just this. There we go. All right, now that is, well, for some reason it's still too large. It's got this large blank area down here. But okay, so there we have it. What we're going to do now is File, Save As, Individual Graphics. And this is going to go to the same place. Graphics, no. Let's go to our desktop. There we go. Graphics, and we're going to save it right here. Okay, now, what size is the screen that we're using? Remember what we discussed last mod? 16:9 ratio. Do you remember what size? Oh, I must have accidentally shut off animate, sorry. Can you still hear me? 16:9. Well, no, that's not the size we're making the screen. Remember that. What's the pixel ratio then? 16:9 is what you do for the ratio. Okay, 1600 by 900. Okay, so that's good, but the average screen is still probably around 1240. 1240, 1260, okay? So 1240 is what we're going to start at. We're going to be using ActionScript 3.0. And this week, you know what? I need to actually cover what we're doing this week. So before we continue, let's go ahead and discuss what we're covering this week. Sorry about that. I do apologize. Define and understand the importance of creating a good user interface for desktop and mobile devices. Create an and execute original artwork pertaining to a self-promotional piece. Okay, for the discussion, there's two parts. Remember this. Remember, you have to have a total of at least 250 words. Your references do not count in that count, okay? So for the first part of this discussion, research and write a minimum of 100 words with a minimum of 2 citations about best practices of creating content for mobile devices that are not only creative but employ good UX and good UI. ProQuest and Shark are great places to start. Be sure to not copy and paste more than 20% of your total summary from the citations. So a minimum of at least 80% needs to be your own words. For the second part, explain how your layout for your mobile device achieves good UX and good UI. Be specific on why you did what you did. Share your thought process, include your storyboard for your desktop and mobile version to show how you solved the issue with dealing with viewing in a smaller device. All right. Include a JPEG or PNG image of your storyboards. So that's basically what that says up there. All right, so that's the discussion. For the assignment, this week, you'll set up your 2 documents for each respective resolution and begin to create your assets and import any existing assets you may be using. Be sure you create your own original art for any buttons, graphics, etc. This is a self-promotional piece, so using clip art or any free stock images wouldn't be a good choice. Anytime you represent yourself to obtain work using someone else's work, even if you paid for it or it was distributed royalty-free, should be avoided at all costs. You're selling your talent as a designer. Okay, you can draw your asset in Illustrator, Photoshop, or Animate CC. But be sure to save them in the correct format required for animating. Your Animate CC document can be set up as an HTML5 canvas or an AS3 for your desktop and mobile version to start. Just remember, as we learned in week 1, not all tools are available in HTML5 canvas, and not all actions or properties are converted over to HTML5 canvas. So some planning ahead is important when you start your project. Arrange all these assets in the initial composition that you determined in your storyboard. For assets that are hidden off stage, that will be viewable when your user interacts with your infographic, can be placed off stage or have them in your library. Animation for the first phase isn't necessary unless you want to, okay? Now, creating 2 documents. Well, this gives you the size. Stage size for mobile, 640 by 1136. Stage size for desktop, 1280 by 720. Name your web document. Design 365 _ assignment 2 - web _ first dot last. You're going to attempt to illustrate yourself as an asset. Ooh, that's going to be really interesting to see. I cannot draw people, so you'll never see me attempt that one. But I will attempt to show you how it's done by using stuff like the octopus that I drew. All right, name your mobile documents. Design 365 _ 2. Now, what do I talk about with file organization? What's the best way to do this? Oh, it's your first attempt. Okay, that'll be cool to see. All right, file organization. Remember, best way to do this, we're going to New folder. Well, actually, you know what? I don't even need a new folder. We're going to use, let me lower all this. And we're going to go ahead and use the same one that I was using last week. So I don't need that one. So Tiers Taekwondo Academy. All right, so now we're going to call this new folder week 2. But let's go back and take a look at all the directions. Your document is a native HTML. Okay, so this tells you how to do it, how to name it. Assignment submission. So zip all required files listed above into one compressed file to submit. Name it Design 360 Assignment 2 _ first last .zip. So I'm going to copy that. So that file right here, instead of week 2, we're going to call it, rename, NV. Michael Brooks. All right, so there's my week 2 folder. So the best way to do this, _ new folder, MOB mobile, new folder, desktop. So that covers both of them. That will give me the web and mobile. And it helps if I spell correctly. MOB, go back and check that, ILE. Ha, yep. So, mobile and web, okay? So instead of desktop, rename web. And then we're going to spell this correctly. All right, so there's our 2 files inside the main one. All right. Now, what we need to do, and as we go, if something doesn't work quite, I'll show you what to do to make it all zip together to fit. Okay. So anyway, next, what we need to do is go back to there. Okay, so we're going to start with the desktop, 1280 by 720. All right, so this needs to be this should be 1280 by 720, right? Or was that 740? Let's double check. 720. All right. So now we have it fit to window. Next, what I want to do, let's go ahead and we're going to make this a dark blue. That's going to be my color. All right. So now what I need to do is let's go back and take a look. Illustrator. We're going to look here. All right, so this is how we want things to turn out, right? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is go back over to here. I'm going to take this. And you know, there we go. And we're going to make all those black. Well, I'm going to actually copy these. All right. Now you'll see why I have 2 versions of this, okay? So this one, we're going to make it black as well. Now, each one of these, we're going to make blue. All right, so now I have all these. Regular button, selected button, and I don't think that blue's good. This black will look good on that. So as we get there, we'll take a look, because you know what we didn't look at last week? Storyboards are usually black and white. Okay? They can have color if you want. Black and white makes it a little easier to see if all the colors are going to come together. Because as you can see right now, what didn't I do with this? I didn't put a background on it so I could see how the background's going to work. So can you see where I made an error last week? And see how that error brought into this week's going to cause an issue, because now I have to figure out the color scheme for the background. Right? Does that make sense, Dallas? Yes, I did that intentionally last week so I could build on it this week to show you guys. Because I wanted to make it clear what happens when you do that. Well, now I have to redo this. All right? Well, what I'm going to do to figure this out, I'm going to put this right here, send it to the back. All right, now it's back there. And now I'm going to pick a color for it. All right, well, we know this blue's taken. This red's taken. So what color would go good with this? What do you think? I've got the 3 colors of the Korean flag, which are the martial arts colors there. Taekwondo's colors. So what am I missing? A neutral color, like what? White's not going to really work, is it? I don't like the white backgrounds. It's too bright. It's too empty. An eggshell, okay. Well, what would you consider an eggshell? Kind of like this? Okay, well, let's grab that. And now we're going to bring it forward. Range, bring forward. Okay, and now it's still, now what I want to do, and we're going to actually cheat and do this the easy way. Okay, now we're going to go down here. Well, look, part of the problem is things are locked. All right, now what we're going to do is send that all the way to the back. So make sure everything's unlocked, because otherwise it won't go behind it. All right, now what I'm going to do is grab this. Come on, let me grab it. And it's not letting me grab it again. Boy, is this being difficult tonight. Like, again, this is why I prefer to make my own logo, my own templates for all this. There we go. Now I select that. Here we go. Now let's see where that put it. And we'll come down here and look. Notice it's not showing up in there. So where did it go if it's not here in my layers? Well, make sure you have to wait for all your stuff to show up. Then you'll see where it's at. And you can just grab it and take it down here to the bottom. But notice now it's behind other things. So we'll start turning them off one by one till we can see where it is. You see, this is the issue with this template. This is why I don't like using the templates. But now what I can do is we're going to go over to here. We're going to pull up that color scheme. All right, it just so happens I'm working on a project. So I'm going to take the background and try this again. So we grab that. Now I just come to right here, go over and grab it. All right, you say that should be a little lighter. Let's take a look. Let's bring this up. So there. What do you think? There's the top, and here's the one I just selected. This is the one that it is now. More right and up a little. There. Yeah, you're right. Let's try that again. Right and up a little, you're right. There we go. How about that? Blonde moment on my side, I guess. All right, so we're going to take that. There we go. Now watch what happens. Okay. I'm going to file and file, import to library. I am going to import, go to my graphics. Notice individual graphics is not selectable. Well, why? Let's go back here. Graphics, Command S. That is kind of weird. File, import to library. And that is weird. It's not letting me grab my graphics. And I just started before class. All right, so it's not going to cooperate. So we're going to do this the other route. Do you remember what the other route is? We're going to do it like this. Command C. Command V. Maintain the layers. All right, and now we're going to make that a little bit larger. All right. Notice they're still individual, right? All that is individual. Come over to the library. This is what I got. All the layers. The image came across separate, but everything else is together. Okay? So I want to make that just one graphic, right? So right click, convert to symbol. This isn't really doing anything. So we're going to go graphic. Here's take one. underscore logo. Okay, now that's what? Well, let's go into it somehow. There we go. Now we're going to enlarge it. All right, and that's too big. All right, there we go. And you know, that looks like a good color, pretty much a good color. And I still don't like the positioning, so we're going to line it up. There we go. All right, now that's kind of a good color for that, for now. Remember, when we get further into it, it may not be because we have all the belts to bring over next. Okay. All right, so now there's that one. And I'm going to just logo. Buttons. Why am my spellings off tonight? Buttons. All right, now the buttons are those two things. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to actually convert each of those to outlines first. Create outlines. Because I'm kind of old school that way, and I still like to do it that way. Remember, you have the option on it. Okay, now here's all those. Okay. I'm going to lock that layer. There we go. Make sure we can't select anything. There we go. All right, now let's make these a little bit larger. Okay, home. Right click, convert to symbol. Button. Home BTN. Next one. Convert to symbol. Belts BTN. Convert to symbol. Forms. Let me go back. I'm going to enlarge that. Well, first. Now we're going to enlarge it. Let's double check here. Forms. Oh, this is terms. That's right. So that was correct. Terms. Poom says forms. Whoops, sorry. So we'll go back over, and then we'll go convert them back. Come on, give me my mouse. So we're going to convert those all back to outlines and save it. There we go. All right. So now, terms. BTN. Convert to symbol. Poomsae BTN, which is the forms. Convert to symbol. Subum. All right, so there's those. These now are going to be placed right here for now, okay? Next, what we want, and this is going to be buttons. All right, now we need these. Right click, convert, selected. So home, selected, button. Then I can take it off, convert to belts, selected, take it off, convert to terms, selected, to say selected, and subum. To subum selected. All right, so now we're at this point. So these, well, this is going to be a little bit larger. So I hold the Option and it only goes down that way. But if I hold the Shift and Option, look, it does it proportionally. If I just hold the Shift, it does it that way. So we want a Shift Option to just go straight down to where I want it. There's the buttons. Each one's an individual button. All right. Now we're going to have to actually bring the other home buttons in, right? Well, I double click, up, over, down, and hit. Well, on the hit, we're going to Command C, go to right here, Command V. Put it in the exact same place. Ack. Do what I want. I'm going to copy this to right there. There we go. So over, up, and down are the same color. My hit, actually quit. It didn't do that. It made it blank. Okay, so here we're going to insert frame. Now, notice it's the same button on all those, right? Well, instead, I want to convert that to a keyframe. And I'm going to right-click, come down here, and why isn't it letting me swap? Okay, then we're going to cheat and do it this way. Home. We'll now go to right here. Okay, so we're going to look at this. Negative 51.7, negative 16.4. Negative 51.7. It's way off, isn't it? Negative 61.4. That's way off. Why was that? Well, let's take a look. Here, that's based off of that everything on that line. When we go to here, it's being weird. So the best way to do this, go to right here. And just use your arrow keys to get where you want. Okay, now look. Okay, so there's that one. Belts, same thing. Insert blank keyframe right there. And we're going to bring the belt selected, put it right there. And do that again, and there we have it. Remember, I'm just using my arrow buttons to move it. Okay? Go back. Terms. Same thing. Right click. Insert keyframe. All right, now, notice by doing the keyframe, I still can't swap it. Not let me swap the symbol tonight. So we'll just delete it there. That's the terms. We'll move this over. And we'll do this. Right, that puts that one there. Okay, so up to this point, you can see what I'm talking about, right? You see what I'm doing. Did I lose you? Oh, okay. Can you see why I'm doing this so far? Okay. Sorry about putting the screen on. I got a messy head today. Turned the camera on by an accident there. Okay, so now we do it to the PUMSE for forms. Click. Convert to keyframe. Delete. Bring that in. And we go back and forth again. Oh, wow, that was perfect. A little off. There we go. And sabum, same thing. And there we have it. Now we have all our buttons set up. Okay, so next we lock the buttons. All right, now I can come over here because I made that a logo. What happens if I delete this? Do you remember? I delete that, the whole thing's gone. You need to keep that. Okay? Does that make sense? That's that, and that's that. So if I just want those two, I could bring them out. But we're going to leave that together, all right? All right, so now we have this far. Next, let's go back over. And my person. So the person. All right, notice the face came across with the color of white. Well, that's fine because, well, that's what we did over here. We didn't take the color out of it. But I could do that over here if I want. So we're going to go here. And if I turn that off, there we have that. But with this, that looks kind of, that'll work, but we want it all thicker. So now what I need to do is come on. Let's go back to it. Okay, now for the line, notice the stroke is set. All right, so this is not really good enough. It's hard to see, right? So what we're going to do is delete it there, go back over, and we're going to increase the size here. Okay, so the increase, I'm going to take it to 2. And you'll see why once we get the guy over there. Okay, and that white face looks way out of place. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take that out. Okay, there we go. So there's our person. And I'm going to right click, convert to symbol. Person. I'm going to put him right there. And now we need to bring in that box. And there we have it. All right, well, there is the first one, right? So let's go back. And that takes us to that first one, right? That's extra, we don't need that. All right, so these can now move up. File. Now we need to come over here and go to over here. What else do we need? Oh, we need those. And now we're going to lock everything. So I'll only get those. All right, now I need to select those. And what we're going to do, we're going to cheat here. This up. Move this up. All right, so we're going to go down through here. And right there are the belts. All right. That should be unlocked. But we don't need to undo everything, just those. So now we can just go here to here. Okay. Well, we're going to slowly take out of there by locking it. And that'll start to take away from there. Now we have those. Command C. And then we just come over here. Command V. Okay. Itty bitty. So we're going to increase their size. This will go right there. All right. So this is the belts. Now notice the belts are buttons themselves. So we're going to convert to symbol, button, white, belt, BPM. Now I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to copy the name. Click, convert to symbol, Command V. Now I'll have to yellow. Orange. Now, you're seeing how long this is taking when I do it that way. So watch this. I'm only going to take that next part. Click, convert to symbol. Convert to symbol. Convert to symbol. See how much easier? There's these shortcuts, okay? Would a white outline on the darker belts be better? No. You don't really need to see that outline because the belts are pretty clear what they are, right? And remember, this is small. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about here in a second, okay? Let's rename this one first. Convert. And the black belt. Now, you know how these, just a little history note, how the traditional ranks, why they started with white and how they got the colors in between, right? Do you know that? Originally, they kept the same belt all the way through. So they theoretically would have had a white belt when they were done, right? Well, after many years, they actually start changing color with all the dirt that gets ground into them. That's how you got a black belt, was because after many years of practice using the same belt, all your sweat and grime and everything worked into that belt, it became black. That's how they got the colors. Just one of those little helpful notes, you know. They're fun. That's fun to do. All right, so now I'm going to go File, Save As, and this is let's go back to my desktop. All right, this is the web, right? So we're going to name this let's go back here. The web document. Now watch when I run this. It's going to be there, but see, all that dark except the black belt, they all show up, right? At the larger screen, they're going to show up. Does that make sense why we don't need to go to white? Plus, the fact is that line gets darker and darker as they go. So does that make more sense now? Okay. Now, all right, so we go back and look. Lower that. That one's going to be, let's see, terms, forms, so boom. All right, well, that's it from there that I got done, right? So we no longer need this. Well, yeah, we do. Because guess what? Did I put those over there? Open racial, individual. No. Let's go back over to here. And we're going to copy them. Come back over. Now I have my individual graphics. All right, so now that's all the graphics I have for this, right? All right, well, that's going to have to be turned in as well for the web. Well, no, you don't have to turn that in. The only thing I want to see, so we're going to close this. We don't need that any longer, and we're not going to need this any longer. Well, let's go take a look at how I wanted to set this up first. Okay? So now we're going to go look at the page, the directions, and that one is set up at 640 by 1136. So now, File, New, it's going to be ActionScript, Width, 640, 1136. All right, there we have it. So now we're going to go back to here. I'm going to grab this color in the background. And to get that, all I have to do is this. Then I could copy that, right? And Command C. Now we're going to go over here and double click Command V. There we have it. Now, do you remember how I said to bring in the assets to your new one? Easiest way. Well, we come right here. I'm in the new one. And we're going to fit to window. So we come to right here, click on that one. It has to be open. And look, now I have all my stuff. Okay, so it's all right here. Now my person, I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to put him right there. And the buttons, okay, so that's the person layer. I want the person layer up here. I'm going to put it in the same layers, okay? So belts, outline, And you know what? The outline, I'm going to make this even easier. Go to outline. Outline. There we go. See? We're going to come down here. And instead of calling this logo, background. All right. I'll make it so much easier because now that's all that's going to be there. So that's a consistent across the board, right? Okay, so now I need my belts. Come over to here. The belts. Let's come down here. Notice they're not there at all, right? So to get those, because they're not over here as assets, we come over to here and I grab them, copy them. Oh, actually, they are over here. So we'll just go over. Yeah, they are. So white, yellow. Now notice they're at a different position. So an easier way to do that would be just go over to here, Command C, and Command V. Now I'm just going to put them right there. So there's the belts. Notice they're not here yet. Come on. There we go. They are there. Yeah, they came over as the buttons. You're right. They were there. I had a mind dump on what I called them. All right, so now we come over. Now we have all the buttons. Now, because they're buttons, I can just cheat, come over here, and grab them. Go back to here. Now the button, let's see, that's the belt. I want, there we go. Let's bring the home button over. Now, watch when I click on it. Here, let's make this larger. And see how it brought the color with it? But let's take that back to the same size. See how that changed colors? So we're going to change the whole size. Now we'll go into it. And look. See how that changes colors? It brought that over automatically as the button. So I don't need that home selected button over here. But it automatically brought it. I don't need to bring it over is what I meant. It automatically brings it, okay? Now, I'm going to cheat here again. So that we have all of them at once. I'm going to copy those. And C, come on over here. There's the belts. And I did make a mistake, but we'll fix that here soon. Now the buttons, I'm going to go Command V. Notice it brought over the button and the selected button because they're tied together. Okay. Now go back to the person and see I have all that there. So I'm going to select those and delete them. Now I'm going to lock this in the buttons, come to this layer, and now they're there. Lock that. There. Now we're going to lock the person layer. Go to the belts layer. There we go. Command V. Come on, go there. Yep, I did it again. I took them off the layer and then put them right back on the same layer. Okay, so there now I have my belts. Now the only thing left to bring over is this. Now, so we're going to unlog it. So my background and this, Command C. Come over here, Command V. All right, now we need a new layer. Okay, and that's going to go down here. Lock everything else temporarily. Command V. All right, now this is going to go right there. Let's go back and take a look at how we had that set up. All right, see how we have that set up? So now we're going to go do that over there. Okay, so I want to take the belts, and they're going to go over here temporarily. Okay. This is going to come down temporarily. These buttons go up to right here. All right. So the buttons are now aligned. We'll do that. Buttons go here. Background. Oh, the background's not totally set. This comes over here. And I have these off the screen. All my graphics are now transferred over. See, I didn't have to reset it up. They were just automatic. So now this one is the website. I mean the smartphone, right? So it's the mobile version. Command C. So we're going to go right back. File. Save as. Now I'm going to take this, go back to that folder, go to my mobile, V, now if I run this, this is what we get. Okay? And nothing's going to happen yet because we haven't named our pages, right? All right, now that's it. So this is name, that's name. Now we're going to do this one and do a command enter and look at it. All right, so we have everything on there as well. All right, so this is what that folder is looking like. That's the folder. Mobile, I have a Swift and a Flash. Web, Swift and a Flash. Now, why do I have the extra? Because it recovered one. All right, so we'll delete that. We don't really need that, so move to trash. All right, now we go back. We're going to close these. So make sure to save them, close them. All right, now to make this a little easier, what I want you to do is this. We're going to move out of the folders temporarily. Actually, no, we're going to leave them in the folders, all right? If you want to make a smaller folder, right-click, and all you have to do is compress. Then you could delete this one. Move to trash. Right-click, compress, and move to trash. Right-click on the main folder, compress, and this is what you're submitting for week 2. That's it right there. Week 2, all you're doing is putting the assets in it. All right? Everybody understands that, right? Do you understand that? That's it. You're just putting the assets in and getting them set up to approximately the right size. All right, now, because when I unzip this, this is what's going to happen. All right, so we're going to move that to the trash. So I take this, I unzip it. Boom, there's the folder. Now I could throw away that. Save you guys space by doing this. Now if I highlight them both, right click, you cannot uncompress both of them at the same time. So double click and double click. And then I can move that to trash, move that to trash, go into mobile. There's that. Looks larger, but do the fit to window. Go to the web. And there's that. And that's what I need to be able to see. But you understand why I zipped the 2 folders and then took and deleted the other thing. If you zip the folders, everything's in there. So you could delete the other files out of that main one before you zip it. That way the 2 inside are zipped, so they're smaller. And then you zip the main file and then submit it. It makes it a lot easier on you guys and some of your computers. All right, so at this point, do you have any questions? All right, cool. Let me grab my cord. Actually, let me grab my computer cord. The smartphone cord will fry if I try to plug it into this thing. There we go. All right, now, so that's week 2 right there. Now let's go back. I didn't go over yet the assessment. For the assessment, it is a quiz again, all right? Make sure you're reading. Read the reading assignments. Go through them. That's where the quizzes come from. Go through them first. All right, now we're going to start having the fun. All right, so now we're going to start having the fun. Now we're going to start animating these, all right? this a little bit larger. There we go. Perfect. All right. So as you can see, this isn't how it's going to look, right? So what I'm going to start doing is start working on week 3s. Well, remember, frame 1 does not have the belts, right? So the belts, I'm just going to click that. I'm going to take them over here to 20 temporarily. So they're just blank back here. Okay. Background, well, we're just going to go over to 20. Right click, insert frame. Buttons, the same thing. All right, so layer 1. Somehow I got an extra layer. There we go. So the person, remember, the person comes flying in. So I need to shrink this down a little more. We're going to go to 50 just because. All right, now that person, we're going to right click, and he's a symbol already, right? So all we have to do is we're going to go to 5. Insert frame. All right, so that person is going to fly in. Now we're going to control, create a motion tween. Multiple objects are selected. You must convert them to a symbol. Well, didn't I do that? The person's a symbol. Now I'm in there. Let's do this, Command C. Go back. For some reason it's saying it's not working. So we're going to do that and Command V. There we go. Now it's not a symbol. So we're going to right click and we're going to convert to symbol. Person. And this is going to be a movie clip. All right, now I could put this right here. And he's going to come in. Now we can make this a tween. What do you mean multiple objects are selected? All right, let's say okay. For some reason, it didn't want to cooperate between that and the person. It's the same thing. All right, so we're going to take this, hold my shift. I'm going to have him stop right here. Oh, we're going to have him stop right there. All right, and then right here, I'm going to right click, insert, convert, let's see, insert keyframe in that position. All right, there we have him again, okay? And right there, he's going to turn around the opposite direction. Right click, transform, flip horizontal. Notice here, he's coming in normal, right? Till he gets to there, and then he flips. But see how he flipped the whole time? I had him roll. Okay, well, that's part of it. Now, I'm going to go back to here. And we're going to go in here to it. Okay, so this leg, now, we're going to convert all this up here is going to be the body. So convert symbol body. We do that one more time. Again, convert to symbol. Movie clip, okay. Body. Leg. Convert to symbol. Left leg. Convert to symbol. Right leg. All right, now we're going to need to zoom in so that we can see how this is going to work. Not that far. All right, so we've, maybe not even that. Let's try 150. Still too much. 100. All right, that'll work. All right, so now we're going to click right here. And we're going to go to 10. So we're going to, actually, we're going to go to 25. Insert keyframe. Now I'm going to click on this one. 25. Insert frame. And now I'm going to convert that by using my bone tool. Notice it can't do that to a grouped object. So we need to click inside the leg. And notice it cannot, why is it saying it's grouped? It's just a leg. Oh, I know what the issue is. It does not like, let's break it apart. There we go. See how that did that to each of the points? That was the problem right there. So right here, we can take the bone tool. Come on. All right, come on. You gotta work for me. Each one of those is now a very little point. So this type of a person, this type of brush is not going to work on this, is it? Is there a way to make it work? Oh, if we transfer it. No. Modify? Well, it's already a symbol. Smooth. Convert to lines and fills. See, that won't even do it because the lines and fills are still individuals. Does that make sense so far? That they're still individuals even with lines and fill? All right, so let's see. What else can we play with here? We can group it, but then again, we start coming across the bone tool. Cannot link to grouped objects. All right, well, let's go back to modify. Shape. Optimize. Okay, optimizing total messages. Real shape has 346 curves. The optimized shape has 321. Now watch. Same issue. It's still lines, individual dots. So now you're starting to see an issue with some of those brushes, how they will not convert properly, right? Can you see how that is an issue? So when we're playing with this, now let's play with some of these other things here that we can't. All right, combine objects, union. Now look, but it still doesn't work because there's still dots. Zoom in to 400. See what that looks like? Because of it, there's no real place. They're all grouped. We still grouped it. See, that can't go anywhere. All right, so let's try the shape. Well, let's do it advanced straighten. Advanced straighten. Same thing. Modify. Let's do an advanced smooth. Okay, smooth angles. Smoothing strength. Same thing. That brush is not going to do what we want. Now, how would I get this to animate then if I with what I want? Any ideas? Draw the section separately. We could do that and then do it frame by frame, correct? Convert lines to fills, expand fills, soften edges. Let's try to soften the edges. One in 50. Nothing happened. Well, it's still thinking. And I'm still waiting. I've still got the spinny world. Now, there is one other way that we're going to go to actually animate this, because it's fast enough that you're not going to see the individual portions. But we're going to go through a couple things and show you what happens with these other tools. And it's still thinking, by the way. And it's stuck now. So we're going to have to undo that because I overdid it. So we're just going to have to force quit. All right, now we're going to bring that back up. Ignore because that's something I did. All right, now we're going to bring that one back up. Yeah, no, it was me. All right, so now this is where we were at, right? He flies in, right? And stops right there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is for that guy flying in, the fun part. So right here, double click. Click here. Now see this middle point? I'm going to move it up to here. Now, as I move this leg, it moves off of there. So let's go back. Notice that stays up there, right? So what we have to do, and this other leg's now just off by itself. So that's not going to work for what we want because, watch. I just have it totally with one leg broken off and the other one coming up. So we'll Command Z and go back to there. All right, now, to do what we want this to do, we're going to totally go into the person and nothing's going to change here. We're actually going to delete that level. So what I'm going to do, let's go back to here. Oh, let's click. So this is going to be person 1. So let's click in there. Person. Okay. Now we're going to go back to here. Now we need to move over. Come on. There we go. And we're going to take that character, but first, I want to create a new one, all right? This is what happens when you get ahead of yourself. Command V. All right, now, what I'm going to do is do this in portions, all right? So this leg is going to go up. This leg, same thing, it's going to go up. Okay, there we go. Now this one's going to go up. Short, just while it's flying. Come on, how'd that switch out? All right, so we're in the left leg. We're into, here's our body. Okay, see how these are separate? Well, I'm going to keep them separate. And I'm going to take this person, I'm going to delete that layer. All right, this is going to go right there. Now, I take this, that's just the upper body. It's just the upper body. All right, now we're going to do this frame by frame. But we're going to do it inside. All right, so the person, I want to delete that one. But I have the body and the legs. So we're going to right click and we're going to, come on, what I want you to do, right click, convert to symbol, person. All right, now the person, we're going to double click inside. That is going to be 30 frames long. All right. And then we're going to insert keyframe there. And we're going to take one frame out of here. Oops, I don't want to cut it. I want to remove. All right, there. So that leaves us at 30 at the end. Now, right here, we're going to take that right leg, that left leg, and see how that's all one they're individual still? Well, we're going to take that left leg. It's going to go up. If I go back to the person, see, nothing's changed. So how do you make that so it changes that? Ideas? Do you remember how to make that move? Well, first, right-click, create a motion tween. Go back to here. This has to be a motion tween. All right, so now, we have this. We go inside the left leg to there. Put it right there. Click, convert to keyframe. Right here, we also want this one. Now see how suddenly they're all individual again. I'm thinking I'm going to have to uninstall my program, then reinstall it. So you're starting to see the issue with bringing over that type of a brush. Correct? So what we're going to do is we're going to mimic this. And to do this, we have to come out here. We're going to lock everything down. Turn everything but the person off. Now we're going to lock. It's locked. We're going to add a layer. Right? Click, paste. And it's just the leg. So what we want to do is we're going to create. All right, there's that. But our lines are limited to the types of lines we have, right? Something to learn, right? So we're going to make this person not follow those brushes, all right? Because as you can see, there's an issue with that. So we're going to take the body, delete. Well, we're going to leave it for a minute until I get this done. Okay, so if I go here, see how that's not as rounded and as clean as those? So that doesn't do the same type of brush stroke as the other program does it. So what I want to do, I'm going to cheat. Arm. Way too long, so we're going to shrink it down. All right, there's the arm, but it's way too skinny. So how do we add length, width to it? We go over here, and we just start increasing it. All right, there we go. There's the arm. Whoa. Now, I just want to duplicate it. So right-click, and transform, flip horizontal, but I need to duplicate it first, right? Because this just flips it horizontal. Command CV. Click. Now we could transform that vertical. All right, so there's our body. I mean, our arms. In fact, they're a little long, so we're going to shrink them down a little. Perfect. All right, now we need the body. All right, now we're going to make the body. This time we're going to just do it by itself. This way I can do this. Now I can move this whole thing. Now, there we have it. Now I click on that, selects the whole thing. Okay, the person's head. We're going to change the fill to nothing, right? And make it a little thicker. And we're going to take this, yep, perfect size. Make the smile. All right, now if I click it, it selects the whole thing. I should have, but anyway. Like I said, I need to uninstall mine and reinstall it. Now we're going to make the eyes again. And that's going to be white of the eye. We're going to get rid of that. This is going to be blue. We'll just take that blue right there. Actually, I need an outline on it, which I already got rid of, so that's fine. Now we're going to copy paste. I'm going to decrease that. Make it black for the center of the eye. All right, and now we get to make that fit into the eyeball. It'll work. A little bit shorter. Perfect. All right, and make that whole thing a little bit smaller. All right, so there's my head, right? So we'll take that and put it on top of them. This is starting to get really tall, so we're going to shrink that down some. So we want to shrink that down a little. Perfect. Head is going to come in. All right, there's the head. Now the legs. Then we'll pick up from here tomorrow night. So now the legs, I'm going to use the brush. Or actually, I'm going to use this. You know, I think the body needs to shrink up some too. Here. Okay, this is going to go. Now, this is the upper body. Right click, convert symbol. Well, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and we're going to get rid of this layer. Okay, so let's go back. That's the body. We don't need it any longer. Left leg. Don't need the right leg. For the person one. All right, there we go. So now this, right click, convert symbol. This one can actually just be a graphic since it's the top. Convert symbol. Okay, we're going to try an experiment here with the okay. All right, now all right, so now we right click, select this whole thing. All right, we're almost finished too. We got about 3 minutes, so right click, convert to symbol, movie clip, person. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to double click into here. Go to 20, insert frame. Take the bone tool. Zoom in so I can see that a little bit easier. All right. And right here, let's see, this whole thing, we're going to click here. Notice that no matter where I go, there's no spot for it, right? What I have to do is add points. Okay, now we click on that. Let's try to add those points again. There we go. See how it's adding the points now? Now you'll see why we did that. Now let's go back to here. Bone tool. And again, see, cannot be able to do a stroke. So what do? How do we make this so this can be moved? That's something I want you to think about overnight, okay? Because that's something we went over last mod. And so I want you to refresh on it. Rasterize it. Well, we're in here. So file, save as. I don't want that. I'm just going to take away that and save. Replace. All right, how do you rasterize it? No rasterization here. Edit. No rasterization. Modify. No rasterization. Okay, so this one I want you to research how to use that bone tool to do what you want. Okay? All right, so that being said, do you have any questions for tonight? I've already gone over, showed you how to submit this week's assignment, what you need to do. So if anybody has questions, please let me know. Make sure to please read your reading assignments. That is where the quiz comes from, almost word for word. Yes, I've given you the answers as well, but not in the same wording as the quiz. So that's part of your work. That's part of your assignment stuff is to, you work on your assignments, you also do the reading, and you watch the recordings. If there's any questions, again, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. Have a nice evening. And thank you, Dallas, for coming to class. Good night.